Welcome to the next episode of Smart Talks. This week's topic is biyeshuv, which means calmness and creating an environment of still thought and mind so that before you make a decision, you have that serenity.
Wouldn't that be nice to know how to do that?
You know, so often we just jump into decisions. We just act without thinking. So, you know, we like someone's post without really reading the post. You know, we just look at the image. We don't really read the content. We have this sort of run, and when learning, when discovering, when growing, it's so important to be biyeshuv, to be rested, to be relaxed, to have that sort of serenity of thought so that we can make sure that we're making our decisions in a mindful way.
I think that's very true. I've noticed the difference of when I stop and actually just look, even if it's just a beat, it's not like a lack of efficiency. I'm still like engaging in what I'm doing, but just taking a beat to assess. It's almost like the fight or flight slows down. I start to see color and I see things differently, and then I make a better choice.
So, you know, it's interesting. You know, when I am at work or at the office, I'm so much more productive than when I'm at home trying to get work done.
Oh yeah.
Or even when I'm at home, if I can set myself up, have my computer, have my pens, my papers, my whatever else, I just spread myself out. By creating that environment for myself, that I have all my things all set out, that just gives me the presence of mind to be in that mode of work. And so also when I'm with my family, you know, sometimes I've made it a practice. I'm like the person who's like the fireman. You know, you get the alarm rings and you got to run and put out a fire. What I've done is I've actually turned off my phone or put it in the garage or in my office and leave it there for a couple hours so that I can be present. That helps me have the yeshuv hadas, have the presence of mind to be able to become present in the moment. And I think that each person, by knowing what are those elements and what are those things and how do they create that environment of like presence and serenity, that can help them with their learning, with their family, with their business, in many different aspects.
I think it's a great check of like efficiency. Oh, I've been going and going. Like I caught myself the other day. Why am I feeling like this? Right. Then I was like, oh, because I haven't had a moment. And my moment is usually I try to listen to a class. I'm in a WhatsApp group with a couple of my girlfriends, and we share different lessons and things we're learning. And some of my girlfriends are still studying in seminary, so they'll share something they've learned. And to listen, just even if it's like a half an hour class, I'll listen half of it if I'm on a break or if I'm driving. There's something about like not focusing on work and busy and all the things that I'm trying to do, but there is this aspect of being. And I've missed that. It's not been something that was a part of my upbringing. We work for the A. You work to be a good student or a good person, and to know that to just be, you're so worthy of having been created. Yeah. Like you can be and soak up wisdom, and it's okay to not do. It's hard for me. It's a lesson I'm working on.
And I'm the type of person who's just do. It's like I'm the action-oriented person. Like you tell me you have a problem, I'm going to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And you also need that yeshuv hadat, that sort of serenity of mind and presence of mind to really channel yourself and turn that part of you, the action. You know, we have this sort of instinct of fight or flight naturally in ourselves. So for me, it's always, okay, what can I do to fix the situation? Mm-hmm. Who do I call? What do I do? How do I fix it? But often we have to take a step back and say, okay, I need to show the empathy and listen to the other person. And one thing, give it credit to my wife, she's really taught me how to do that. She's drilled it into me until I become a more empathetic person, better, because I'm forced to put aside my natural instinct to action and really focus. And part of that is taking that deep breath, pushing out those thoughts, and having that yeshuv hadas, having that clarity and serenity in that moment to really focus on the other person, focus on that knowledge, focus on whatever is the task at hand, so that you're not completely distracted.
Again, this goes back to doing something that's different than what we're used to. We have impulses, and I think like that whole chart of whereas growth is outside of our comfort zone, I think whereas growth is also outside of our natural instincts. Right. My instinct also is to fix or to answer, to do. And even last night, a friend of mine like said something to me, and I went to answer, and he was like, "Just quiet, sit there," because he knows I'm not comfortable. Right. So I sat there. I said, "Thank you." And he was like, "No, I was just kidding." I was like, No. That is such a lesson. I really appreciate you. The people around us can really show us where we're often getting in our own way. And those impulses, they're survival. It is normal. It is okay. I've had to do a lot for myself to survive. But oftentimes when I put myself into a more being mode, so much more gets done.
Right.
It's nuts, but I just don't believe it. Like, I don't believe it will, but somehow it does, because I see more and then I'm more productive.
Absolutely. It's creating this, having those tips for yourself to be able to have that Yeshuv Hadat, to have that sort of synthesis and serenity is critical. So I think for one, we need to know ourselves. That's sort of a key foundational idea, is that when you know when you're going to be running around and sort of your minds are going to be wandering around, know what it is.
I've been so curious, by the way, recently. I've been asking my friends, how do you handle moments of stress? Like, what do you do to get yourself out of a slump emotionally, out of a slump in work or in relationship? And over again, my friends say either it's lists or just checking in, or because it's, at the end of the day, it's, life is nuts. It's hard. It's hard to get a grip on stuff that goes on. So to be able to put yourself in an environment of support, and then to just simplify, to realize that it's okay, that breath helps with it, and that it's like the next best step. Like, what can I do next?
I think another thing is that we should know our process.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, when people are hangry.
I have no idea what that is. What's hangry? I'm just kidding. I'm like, every 2 hours I'm hangry.
It's like, you know that if you don't eat properly, and you
Yes.
don't eat, I told someone a couple weeks ago, I said, I am in a eating diet. I need to eat 3 times a day.
Yes, and I pack
Full
snacks
meals.
all the time,
Right.
like a Jewish mother.
Think backwards. What are the steps I need to take before that in order to, in the future, be the best me? That's so critical.
So set yourself up for success.
And then also, like, you're preparing yourself by how. So some ways it's like, before you do something, ask yourself why. Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
Why is it important? What is the benefit? And so, you know, when I was on, a couple of days ago, I was on a birthright trip, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, I'm missing my family, and I'm missing so much work, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, one of the participants comes back to me and says, you know, Rabbi, you were really impactful on my life. And sometimes it's also important to stop, drop, and roll, right? So you have to stop what you're doing, drop everything else that's distracting, and then think about what you need to be doing, what is priority right now, and then you roll with it.
This happened to me last December, where I was like, am I going to continue to work? What are my values? When am I going to start a family? When am I going to start really getting aligned with what's important to me? And it took a huge, like, pause, and I dropped a lot of things that were no longer valuable to me.
Right.
And actually it changed so much of, like, the momentum that I'm experiencing right now is because of what I thought was stopping and dropping something that was so meaningful.
This theme is idea of Yeshuv Hadat, that when somebody's learning Torah, or someone's learning a subject, or even focusing on their business, or focusing on family, this is where I need to be, and we're going to push out all the distractions.
So powerful. And I think it's a constant journey to figuring out what that personal balance is, and to constantly learn to do it. This is a great reminder for us.
Absolutely. I mean,
Always.
This is what these episodes are. We're talking about ourselves, helping to refine ourselves, and then you as an audience, you can come and take these ideas, take these little pointers, and apply to the real world. So let us know. Have you been able to share these ideas? What are your best practices to be able to push out the distractions and have the presence of mind?
That's a great question. I'm very eager to know. Like, what are some of your tips and tricks?
Awesome.
Comment
Looking
below.
forward to hearing.
Bye, guys.
Be well.